So here's something you don't see every day, the Diamondback FS9. This unfortunately was discontinued a couple years ago. 4 3/4 inch barrel, rail space for days. Nice, big full size, but limited to 15 rounds for a large gun. It's kind of a way you could jump into some defensive shooting competitions or things, or just to have a full size nightstand gun. Very affordable. This went away, and it was about the same time I started to like Diamondback. And so I asked them, hey guys, what's up? And they say, just wait, just wait. So we've waited. The AM2 is out. That's what's coming up next on GBGuns. So we open up our cardboard box. We've got a nylon pouch. There's the gun. We have our trigger lock, manual, and an extended magazine. More on that in a bit. As always, despite what so many people say, I like to look through the manuals to see, really, it tells me how much does the company care about people understanding their product. Right, so here we have a complete breakdown and parts list. We've got real photos, which is nice, really good and detailed. Decal, warranty information, etc. Get that out of the way, and let's take a look at the gun. So the AM2, this has been in development. You can see it's clear. Nice orange follower letting you know it's clear. And you also have a witness window right there. This has been in development for a while, and they kind of got beat to the punch on some of the features that are on here, even though Diamondback was already working on it. And I got to hand it to Diamondback for still coming out and producing this. It's got a good feel to it. Let me not get distracted, and let's get back to walking around the gun as we normally do. Starting up front, a little bit of vertical play, no side to side on slide to frame. I've had people ask why I do that. Well, that could affect where this ends up, and it might have an impact on accuracy if you're going for like a real match type gun, and it's just become a habit to check it out. Coming around, we've got some rail space. We have nice sort of melted, if you will, rounded edge there with serrations for press check if need be. Serration on the front of the trigger guard. We can see this has the dingus style safety. The trigger cannot be pulled, will not fire without that being depressed. Speaking of trigger pull, let's see what we've got. Comes back to a wall, nice and clean. Little scoot. Brakes, our reset, about part way out, but right back on that wall. Not bad at all. In fact, I'd say as good, if not better, than most factory guns that are out there. I'm not expecting a matched trigger out of this. The magazine release is rather large, but also quite flush. You notice it's hardly sticking out there at all, so there's no need for shielding here, and that helps keep the gun really thin. There's no extra flare to it. Our slide stop functions as release, and you might be able to tell looking through that window there, or at the serial window, that this gun has another neat advanced feature to it that we'll get to later on. A little bit of relief for the trigger guard, and some pseudo-aggressive texturing right where it needs to be. I would call it finger swells, but not necessarily divots that you have to fit into. With the 12-round magazine, that's right, this is a 12+1 gun. It's only 2.5 fingers long for me. That other magazine, 17 rounds. And look at that. You can almost get a second hand and hold down low down here. I have very large hands, and this has more than ample room for me. So for range practice, for helping a newer shooter feel comfortable with the gun, or as a house gun, great magazine to have as a spare. For daily carry, you've got something nice and flush that's still 12, giving you 13 rounds, 12+1 total capacity. Coming around, we've got no texture through the middle, as it doesn't need to be there. Little recession for the thumb. Nice rounded corners here. Hopefully that means no knuckle banging back here, as tends to happen to me sometimes. You can see how it thins. little bit and plenty of texturing on the back. And if you're wondering why I'm not concerned about texturing on the side, that's because the gun is trying to move to the rear and then back forward. At no point does the gun try to swell. So your grip, which is a misnomer, I don't grip at all. In fact, my hands are not flexed at all when I shoot, is pushing from the rear, pulling from the front, resisting that rearward forward movement. That's all you've got to do. So really, that's the only place you need texture. Slide to frame fit in the rear, about standard, as are our 3-dot sights, which are nice and bright. And you notice we have the ledge, just like on the new DB9 Gen 4. Coming around the right side of the gun, slick gun. Nothing protruding. I did notice the magazine release being rather large. There is a chance of it bumping your hand. Now I shift my grip a little bit, so pushing the thumb, I throw this finger out just naturally because I've got often to kind of rotate my hand a little bit to get to that release. So it's not an issue, but it might be if you're able to fit your hands really tightly. You'd of course need larger hands than mine to do that. So more power to you. Next, we'll field strip this and take a look inside the gun. So to field strip the AM2, just like any other striker fire, we're going to check for clear. We can see that the striker is armed because it's protruding out the back there. We're going to release the striker, see it disappeared. Pull back a little bit and pull down on these takedown levers on both sides. And the slide comes forward and off the gun. Looking inside our frame, we see nice steel chassis that everything is riding in. Everything that needs to be strengthened is strengthened in every direction. That's part of what makes for that tight fit and is probably going to make for a long-lasting gun. Removing a recoil assembly, which is captured, and we've got a nice strong metal rod and a flat recoil spring. Barrel pops out. Very wide feed ramp. See that? Quite wide. We'll check chamber support using our nozzler match. Dropping that round in. And chamber support, what we're looking for is how much of the casing is fitting into the barrel there. We don't have really any unsupported spots, maybe a little bit underneath, but that's done generally, well, for one, that helps keep any brass blowout going out the barrel. If you had a case rupture or something like that happen, I tend to also believe or think, and I'm sure everyone will tell me I'm wrong, that if you don't have brass swelling outside of the chamber, all the pressure is going out the barrel. That should help with velocity and definitely help with reliability. Looking inside our slide, beautiful new machining. They took their time with this one. Nicely put together. When we get out to the range, we'll run our What's for Dinner test, which is the hollow point steel case, aluminum case, brass, nickel-plated brass, full metal jackets, truncated bullets from as low as 65 grain up to as heavy as 165 grain to see what the gun runs with and what it doesn't. Also, something that I appreciate the Diamondback did, and let me know in the comments below if you've ever had this problem. New gun comes out, you get all excited about it, you get it, don't have a way to carry it, right? Diamondback coordinated with Dara and has a nice carbon fiber finished, and of course Dara has many choices available, but my point is that Dara already has a holster design for this, which means as soon as you get it and you prove that it runs with the ammo you like, it's ready to carry. We'll get this out to the range soon and let you know our thoughts on it. I'd love to hear your opinions on the AM2. To me, it's a working man's SIG 365. Hopefully it doesn't have the striker drag or any of those other issues that the SIG had. But it's giving you that 12+1 subcompact kind of Goldilocks size that is currently all the rage. Thanks for watching.